You stand up, walk into the kitchen with a clear purpose in your head, and the second you get there, it's gone. You're standing in the middle of the room with absolutely no idea why you came in. You have to walk all the way back to where you started just to remember. Everyone does this, constantly, and most people quietly assume it means their memory is getting worse, that they're tired, distracted, getting old. It's none of those things. There's a specific, almost silly reason it happens, and it's not really your memory failing at all. It's a doorway. That's not a metaphor. It's the actual, literal doorway. The physical act of walking through it is what wiped your mind. And once you understand why, you'll never look at a door the same way again. Let's start with the experiment that proved it. In 2011, a psychologist named Gabriel Radvansky at the University of Notre Dame set out to test this exact everyday frustration. He built a series of experiments where people had to remember an object while moving around, sometimes walking across a large room, and sometimes walking the same distance but passing through a doorway into a new room. Same distance, same amount of time, same task. The only difference was whether or not they crossed a threshold. And the results were remarkably clear. When people walked through a doorway, they forgot significantly more. Their memory got measurably worse the moment they crossed from one room to another, even though they'd walked no farther than the people who stayed put. He ran it in virtual reality. Same result. He ran it in real rooms with people carrying actual objects in boxes so they couldn't peek. Same result. Walking through a doorway over and over reliably made people forget. But the truly clever part was his third experiment because it ruled out the obvious explanation. You might think, well, maybe it's just that the new room looks different. Different surroundings, so your brain gets confused. A change of scenery. That would make sense. So Radvansky tested it. He had people walk through a doorway into a new room, and then walk through another doorway that brought them right back to the original room they'd started in. If being in a different-looking place was the problem, then returning to the first room should bring the memory back. Didn't. Going back home didn't restore the memory. The forgetting had already happened the moment they crossed the threshold. So it wasn't the new scenery. It was the act of passing through the doorway itself. Which raises the real question. Why on earth would a door do that to your brain? And the answer is genuinely elegant. It's not a bug. It's your brain doing something smart. Think about how you actually experience life. It feels like one long, continuous, unbroken stream. But your brain doesn't store it that way. That would be an impossible mess. Instead, your brain chops your continuous experience up into separate chunks, little episodes, like scenes in a movie. Scientists call these event boundaries. An event boundary is a moment where your brain decides one scene has ended and a new one is beginning. When it hits one, it does something specific. It takes everything from the scene that just finished, files it away into memory, and clears the desk to make room for whatever comes next. It's basically hitting save and close on the last chapter, so it can start a fresh page. And it turns out a doorway is one of the most powerful event boundaries there is. Crossing a threshold is a huge, ancient signal to your brain that says, you are leaving one place and entering another. New scene. New chapter. Time to file the old one away and reset. So here's what actually happened when you walked into that kitchen. The thought, go get my phone charger, was loaded up in your working memory. Your brain's small, temporary desk space. Then you walked through the doorway. Your brain saw the threshold, went new scene, and did its job perfectly. It filed away the previous episode and wiped the desk clean to prepare for the new room. Your charger thought was sitting on that desk. It got swept away with everything else. You didn't lose the memory because your brain is weak. You lost it because your brain is efficient, and it cleaned up at exactly the wrong moment. And this is why walking back to the original room so often works. Returning to where the thought was formed drops you back into that original event, that original scene, and the filed-away memory becomes accessible again. You're not searching your mind. You're walking back through the doorway to reopen the chapter. Once you see this, you notice it's not just doorways. Your brain does this at all kinds of transitions. Ever go upstairs for something and forget halfway? That's a boundary. Ever have a great idea in the shower that vanishes the moment you step out? Same thing. Every threshold, physical or mental, is a little save and close that can take your fragile thought with it. So the next time you march into a room and stand there completely blank, don't sigh and worry that you're losing it. You're not. Your brain just turned the page a little too fast, filing away one chapter of your life to get ready for the next. The thought isn't gone. It's just in the previous room. So go back, reopen the chapter, and this time maybe hold the thought a little tighter before you cross.